Man, that moment is just so magical. When you see your baby for the first time, like there's nothing like seeing your baby, seeing your kid, like that's your baby for the first time. That part is always just so amazing. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Yasmine Simone. I am now a mom of 2. I just gave birth to our second daughter 3 weeks ago. It was about 3 weeks. I think it's exactly 3 weeks tomorrow. She'll be exactly 3 weeks old tomorrow. And obviously by the title, you can see that we are going to be talking about what happened at my birth. It was our second home birth and it was very, very different from our first one. If you guys saw our first home birth story time, it was not the same at all. So this is going to be a completely different story. Her birthday is February 8th. She was born at 7:11 p.m. and her name is Raya. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you already know her name. I posted her name about a week after I gave birth. So if you want to see her full name, go check out my Instagram post. I will link it down below. Yeah, let's just get into the video. Last time I did a lot of things to try to start my labor up. I was taking hikes. Me and Adam were hiking. I drank castor oil. I drank Midwife's brew. Don't ever do that. Pretty much doing everything I could to get her out. This time, you guys, I was chilling. I was not really doing anything extra, nor could I physically because I was struggling. Pelvis was all out of whack. Could not walk that well. I was always tired, fatigued out, nauseous. I cannot fathom going on a hike, let alone walking up my stairs too many times a day. Yeah, this one was different. This one was definitely different. Thankfully, I went into labor by myself this time. I didn't really need any help. Last time I had to get 2 membrane sweeps in order to go into labor. But this time, it just happened naturally. The night before I gave birth, you guys, Adam and we were watching Game of Thrones. Okay, I'm trying to set the scene for you so you guys know like what was going on. Also, I should mention Adam had taken off work for a few weeks before I gave birth because this pregnancy was just so hard for me compared to Yara. Like, I experienced the worst pelvic pain I've ever had in my life. I have never had pain in my pelvis to the point where I literally couldn't walk. Some days, you guys, I would wake up and literally not be able to walk without like limping. I could not pick up Yara. It got to a point where like I literally couldn't do Yara's bedtime routine by myself. He was already taking off, you know, some days, but I really just felt like I needed him to be completely off work in the weeks leading up to me giving birth because I just could not, y'all. Like, I could not. Yeah, Adam was home. Adam and I decided to rewatch Game of Thrones. Probably the only show that both of us like really love that much. And neither one of us had ever like completely watched the show from start to finish. Just one of those things you do when you have time. After Adam would put Yara to sleep every night, we would watch a few episodes of Game of Thrones, and that was like our little thing for a few weeks. We were like joking the whole time, like, do you think we'll be able to finish Game of Thrones before the baby comes? I was like, I don't think so. I think she's probably gonna come before we finish, and Adam thought we would. So it was just so funny because the night before I gave birth, you guys, we watched the last episode of Game of Thrones. We finished the entire series that night. We were in the kitchen the night before and the kitchen was a mess. And we kind of just were sitting in the kitchen and I was like, do you think we should clean up before we go to bed or should we just go to bed? And Adam was like, he sat there for a second and then he was like, I think we should go to bed. He was like, I think if the baby comes like tomorrow or whatever, we're gonna wish that we had got more sleep. And for Adam to say something like that, it was a little weird. Adam is a night owl and he's just always up for staying up. Like usually he'll suggest that I go to bed, but it's really rare to hear him say like, I think we should go to sleep. I think we should get some rest, because Adam is the type of person that will literally just choose other things over sleep. And I just was like, okay, I mean, if that's what you think we should do, I'm not gonna fight you on it. So we went to bed and the next morning, it was February 8th. I woke up. We did our usual morning routine. Adam would go in Yara's room. He would get her out of her crib, change her diaper, take her downstairs, start giving her breakfast. And then I usually would like hop in the shower and kind of do my skincare and kind of, you know, just get ready for the day. And then I go downstairs eventually and eat breakfast with them. So that's what I did. I woke up, took a shower. I did notice that I was feeling a little crampy, but I didn't really think anything of it because I had been getting like a lot of practice contractions, a lot of cramps, a lot of just like false alarms. I just was like, I'm getting cramps. It is what it is. So I didn't really think that deep into it. I go downstairs and the cramps are starting to get a little stronger, and I also have to take a dump. So I think I took like maybe 4 dumps. Excuse my language. There was a lot going on in that area. I think that's one sign of early labor is when you have to go number 2 a lot. Oh, you guys, her bow came off. Hold on, hold please. Because these things matter. I think I went number 2 like maybe 4 times in the span of like an hour or something like that. So yeah, that was one sign. And then the cramps. I'm just downstairs. Adam's feeding Yara her breakfast. Same old, same old. And I was like not really that hungry, but something in me told me to eat. Every day I was kind of just like, today could be the day. But that day I was really like, okay, today might be the day. I'm having cramps. Let me eat just in case. Because last time when I gave birth to Yara, I was not able to keep anything down. I was not able to eat throughout my labor. And being in labor is a really tiring thing. It takes a lot of energy to push out a baby. When you're in labor for hours, it is so exhausting and it's hard to do without fuel. I think I'm just the type of person where like I'm not able to keep food down. I don't know how people are able to eat throughout their labors because I can't do it. Something told me just eat something because you might need your energy. You really might need some food, which actually turned out to be true. So I think I grabbed like a banana and I had like a yogurt. I had some yogurt with like granola. I ate the banana and then I was trying to eat the yogurt and my cramps started getting worse. At this point, they weren't like horrible, but it was definitely giving period cramps. It was definitely a little painful, nothing crazy, but it was getting there. Painful enough for me to like go lay on the couch and like curl up in a ball. And like I took my yogurt to the couch and I'm just like trying to eat it, but then I'm also like kind of hunched over on the couch. Like I didn't want to sit upright. Yeah, the yogurt never got finished. Sidebar, never finished it. I still didn't think that I was in labor. I just was like, okay, this kind of hurts, because like I said, I've had false alarms. I've had times where I've had cramps for like literally hours and nothing happened. So I still was not like thinking I was in labor. So at this point it's like 9 o'clock, and that day I had a midwife appointment. I always wondered if people ever go into labor at their appointments or like at their doctor's appointments. Literally it happened to me. That morning we had an appointment scheduled, and if you don't know, like for home births, when you have a midwife, as you approach your due date, the closer and closer you get, the more frequently you'll have appointments. They were supposed to get there around like 10, I think. But it was like 9 o'clock and I was still just having like cramps. And at this point, Yara had finished her breakfast and she was like watching Sesame Street. And I was like kind of hugging my my ball. So Yara was sitting on the couch, and I remember I took a picture of Yara on the couch because she just looks so cute. And something in me just, I don't know, you guys, I feel like deep down I did know I was in labor, but like it was almost subconscious. Like I took a picture of Yara and I just was like, wow, she's so cute. Like I can't believe how big she is. I can't believe she's about to be a sister. Like I literally was thinking all these things. I'm gonna put the picture on the screen while she's watching Sesame Street, and I'm like having contractions, even though I didn't know they were contractions, on my ball. I'm just, hugging the ball, watching Sesame Street with her. It kind of became clear that I was in pain, and Yara, she's a really big impact. She does not like seeing people hurt, especially me. She sees that, if we hurt ourselves or stub our toe or whatever, she literally will start crying. So I think she saw that I was like not very comfortable, and she like will come over and, tap me and like kind of look at me like really close and kind of just give me a look like, are you okay? And then she would like walk back to the couch and finish watching her show. It was really cute. And she definitely could feel that something was going on with me because I was just very uncomfortable. Around the time the midwife showed up, I think I was in the bathroom pooping again. And the midwife called me. She's like, yeah, we're outside your garage or whatever she said. And I think I just maybe I didn't sound like my usual self, because later on she told me I sounded really like, I don't know, I didn't sound happy, basically. Midwives come in and, we're just kind of just talking with them. There's 2 midwives, by the way. So, yeah, we're all just talking, and I guess I was having contractions because the midwife looks at me and she's like, you've been having contractions every 4 minutes. I think we might be having a baby today. And I'm just like, what do you mean? She's like, every 4 minutes you close your eyes and you like squinch your face up. She's like, okay, maybe we should go check out where you want to put the pool, and we might actually just come back later because we have a couple other errands to run, but I think we'll be back here later because it looks like you're in labor. And I'm like, okay, fine. So we go upstairs. I'm actually sitting in the exact spot I gave birth in, which is kind of crazy. That wasn't on purpose. I'm in my bedroom, obviously. And this was the easiest place to have the birthing pool because our bathroom is literally right here. We came up here and we showed her where we wanted the pool to be and like all that stuff. She made sure the birth kit was, you know, stocked up and like ready and everything was where it was supposed to be. She basically told us, you know, we'll see you later. Let us know what happens. So they left and my contractions were getting stronger and stronger. It was like 12 o'clock. Yara takes a nap around 12 in the afternoon. Adam put Yara to sleep, and that was when they really started to pick up. I'm literally walking around our bedroom having contractions. At this point, the pain is like at like a 5 or a 6. I'm still able to like talk, text, you know, through them, and like I'm a lot more just like, I don't want to say conscious, but I'm a little bit more self-conscious than I was when I was giving birth to Yara. I didn't really know what the heck was going on. But this time I kind of knew what a contraction felt like. And so I was able to kind of handle them, I feel like, the earlier ones a little better. I'm walking around the room because for some reason walking through them kind of helped. It kind of just helped me ignore the fact that they were there. Hold up. My sister is bringing me bubble tea and I have to tell her what I want. I was walking around the room having contractions and I was on FaceTime with my sister, talking to her, trying to distract myself from the pain because the pain was getting worse and worse, y'all. And Adam was in the room. He was kind of rearranging our bedroom a little bit because we had to like make a little bit of space for the pool. So he was like moving like the furniture around and we're kind of just literally walking around. I'm walking around the room, just laboring. Like it hurt, but like I think I have a really high pain tolerance, so it takes a while for me to get to a point where it was like unbearable pain. Trying to distract myself. I was, like I said, I was on FaceTime with my sister and she works at a bakery. So she literally was like icing cupcakes and like I was like talking to her and like the more painful the my contractions got, I was like, okay, explain to me what you're doing. Like explain how to make buttercream, explain this. And I really didn't care that much, but I needed some type of distraction. And so she's just like talking to me and I'm walking around the room. It started getting to a point where like I couldn't walk through them anymore. I had to pause and lean on Adam, lean on the bed, lean on something every time I had a contraction. Adam was like, okay, do you want to get in the tub? Our bathtub, not the birthing pool. The birthing pool at this point was not set up for a minute. It took a while for it to get set up. And I was like, yeah, that might help. It's starting to hurt. So he ran me a bath. My contractions before I got in the bath were like 2.5 minutes apart and they were coming pretty quickly. I got in the bath and immediately like it helps so much. Like you guys, if you're about to give birth for the first time or the second time and you haven't used water as a form of pain relief, I suggest trying it because water really relaxes you and it really helps with the pain. At least in the early stages it does. At the end, I'm sorry, nothing really helps. At least for me, nothing helped. But in the beginning, man, the tub felt really nice. It felt almost too nice because my contractions ended up slowing down to 4 minutes apart again. Because I was timing them so I could visually see them slowing down. And I was like, okay. But yeah, I was in there for about maybe like a half an hour. I was just watching TikToks and trying to like breathe and remember to like in through my nose, out through my mouth, like really trying to just calm myself down and not freak out. I didn't want to freak out. I really wanted to maintain control. I did not use hypnobirthing this time. Last time I like took the course for hypnobirthing, had it playing in the background, but there was no time for me to really like set up the correct tracks to listen to when I was giving birth to Yara. So it was literally just random tracks playing and I didn't really want that to happen this time. I didn't want to have to like deal with like having to tell someone which tracks to play for me. So I decided to not use it. I decided to not use hypnobirthing this time. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to get out the tub. Like I want this to kind of pick up. I don't want the pain to be worse, obviously, but like I was like, I'm not about to sit in this tub and have everything like slow down. I don't want to be in labor for like 2 days. That's not happening. So I got out the tub. Immediately they started picking up again, started walking around again, and it was getting real. The pain at this point is like a 7. It's like a 7. And I got out the pool. I put on some super comfy clothes. The doula was on her way. My mom was there. My mom actually showed up that morning, like around the time that the midwives came for our appointment. My mom also showed up, and she kind of just showed up not even knowing that I was feeling any laborish symptoms. She just showed up and just so happened that, you know, I was going into labor. And then my sister wasn't there yet. My sister came later after she got off work. I was like walking around the room again, and then the walking kind of turned into standing, and then the standing turned into kneeling over the ball again. And I was just not, it got to a point where I wasn't able to walk anymore. It was getting to that point, y'all. I think the pain was like a 7, 8 at this point. So the doula got there. She's amazing. She jumped right in. She starts massaging my back, applying pressure when I had contractions. There was like a weird smell to the pool. So they were like setting up the pool and stuff. Adam was, I think, and the pool smelled just like straight up plastic. When you're pregnant, every smell is just like heightened. At least it was for me. A lot of smells bothered me, and so I started feeling like I had to throw up, like just based off the smell of the pool, and it just filled the room. Every time I would have a contraction is when the smell really started bothering me. And so she would like wave some peppermint essential oil under my nose. She just had a bunch of stuff going. She had like a diffuser. She had some, I think it was like, I don't think it was sage. I don't know what it was. I have to ask her. Yeah, she was doing her doula stuff. Adam was also applying pressure to my back every time I had a contraction. I think my mom had went to the store. There was a few things that I had forgotten to buy for the birth, and my mom went to go get it. I think she went to like towels, like, and candles or something. But my mom had gotten back, and she got there the same time as the doula, and everyone was just kind of like, you know, chipping in. I'm trying to remember what happened next, y'all. This is when stuff gets a little blurry for me. Finally, the pool is set up. They get the temperature correct, because when you're giving birth, you have to make sure the water is like a certain temperature the whole time. And I think at this point, it was probably like 4 o'clock. The big difference between this birth and my last one was the fact that I have a kid this time. We spent a lot of time trying to make sure that when I went into labor, Yara would be taken care of, that Yara's schedule stay the same. I didn't really want Yara's life to be upturned just because I went into labor. So me and Adam were very prepared in that department. My sister had agreed to basically like just be on Yara duty the second I went into labor, because me and Adam clearly were gonna be a little bit preoccupied. Actually, Adam was actually kind of still just taking care of Yara. He was going back and forth, like going to tend to Yara, coming back upstairs to tend to me. But Yara was kept out of the room for sure, because I didn't really want her to see me in a state of pain. I think she just needed to be downstairs playing, you know, watching movies, whatever they were doing downstairs with her. Because at this point she had already taken her nap. So like she just was up, and she needs to be entertained until her bedtime, which is like 7 o'clock. And my sister was also here, helping out with her as well. And I could hear her, you guys, the whole time, because Yara is loud. The whole time I was having contractions, I heard like, you know, her screaming and like laughing. And it was actually kind of comforting to hear her throughout me having contractions, because it was just like a reminder that like, I can do this. Like, I did this before. That little girl downstairs is proof that I can do this and I can get through this pain. So yeah, they kept her out of the way and kept her downstairs, but she could definitely tell that something was going on for sure. She didn't really know what, but I could tell. And everyone else who was downstairs told me later, they could tell that she was like, kind of like, what's going on? Like, what's going on upstairs? Eventually Adam finished getting the pool ready, and it was probably like 4 or 5 o'clock, I think. And I got in the birthing pool. I literally was just trying to like get through every contraction. It was hard. I think it was hard this time because I knew what to expect. I knew like what was coming. Adam gets on the phone with the midwife. Basically, the midwife told him to tell me to get out the pool, because I don't know what they said, but basically they didn't want me to give birth in the pool until they got there. And I think like me getting in the pool could make things speed up. I don't know if that was the reason they told me to get out the pool. Really sure. But they basically was like, she can't get in the pool yet. I'm in the pool eavesdropping and I'm like, what you mean I can't get in the pool yet? I'm already in the pool. Because apparently they were like an hour away. The doula, she kind of looked at me and she's like, I've delivered babies before. Like, if something happens, I think we'll be fine. You don't have to get out the pool. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Because I was not trying to get out yet. I stayed in the pool. And then the midwives got there eventually. And I asked them to check me. Because at this point, my pain was like at an 8. It was getting to a point where I was getting frustrated. I think at one point I started crying. I had thrown up. I hadn't eaten really anything that day because mind y'all, like I said, all I ate was like a banana. It was getting harder and harder. When the midwives got there, I was like, I need to know how many centimeters I am. I really want to know how close I am to being able to push, because I think all I really wanted to do was push. There were even periods where I was like, I want to push, and my midwife was like, do you feel like you're ready to push? I was just like, I think I just want to push because I'm in pain. I didn't really have to push yet. They checked me. Y'all, I was only 6 centimeters, okay? She checks me, she's like, you're only 6 centimeters. My heart sank. I was in the pool. I paused for a second and I was just like, this is some BS. Like, I'm not anywhere close in my mind. I'm like, I have so much longer to go. I expected her to tell me I was like 8 or 9 centimeters. I was like ready to hear that. And she told me I was 6 centimeters and I was just like, F this. So I got out the pool. I was pissed, you guys. I got out the pool and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I think I got in the pool thinking like, okay, I only got like a little bit left to go. No, I had a minute. I had a little while left to go. So I got out. I think I like put on a robe and like got on my bed, and I think it was my mom. Yeah, my mom was in there, and the doula and Adam had both like left the room. At one point, it was just me and my mom in the room, and I was on the bed and I was just like, can someone massage my back, please? And my mom like comes over and she starts massaging my back, and I'm like, no, do it like this. Oh, I was bossy, okay? I was telling people what needed to be done in terms of applying pressure and massaging my back. Yeah, my mom was like massaging my back and she was using this stuff. I don't really know what it was, but it was really helping a lot. And I'm kind of just like propped up on all these pillows in my bed, which was... What's the matter? Which was really risky because my bed was not prepped for birth. I had all my white sheets, my white bedding, my white expensive bedding at that. I did not prepare my bed for labor because I planned to give birth in the pool. So I was just up there praying that I didn't like, you know, that my water didn't break on the bed or something, because there goes all my bedding. Thankfully it didn't. And I think I labored on my bed for maybe like an hour or 2. I really was just trying to get to a point where I was like at 9 centimeters, 8 centimeters. And I knew that that was just going to take time. I knew it was just going to take time. I was going to have to just tough it out. I was just getting frustrated, y'all. I almost lost it a couple times. I was like letting out some sounds, not screaming, but letting out sounds of frustration, which is something I didn't do last time. Last time I channeled all the pain and any like feelings that I felt into breathing. I was very focused when I was having Yara, and I was very much in like my zone. And this time I felt myself losing it. I felt myself losing control. You know, my doula was there doing her job. She was checking me. She was like, make sure you're breathing. I want you to unscrunch your face. I want you to relax. I want you to focus, because I really was struggling on like with doing that by myself. The whole time that I gave birth, we had Quran playing in the background. The entire day it was playing. I had turned it on like around the time that I first started getting contractions, and it was just playing on Spotify on a loop. I'm not sure if that helped or didn't help. Honestly, towards the end, I started tuning it out. But it definitely created like a very calming atmosphere. There was candles. It was dark. It was very calming, but even despite all of those things, I still felt like I was, you know, losing control, you guys. And I don't know if I mentioned this. Yeah, I had started crying at one point, which is just something that would never ever help when you're in labor. Like, crying is like, for me, the ultimate sign of you losing control. Like, I think I started crying and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. And they just were like, you can do it. Like, you can do it. And I stopped the tears right away. I wasn't crying for long. I was like, you need to pull it together. Like, you cannot sit here and cry. You have to like tough it out. You have to get through these pains because the baby's not gonna come unless, you know, you reach that point. Eventually, I got back in the pool. They checked me again and I was like maybe 8 or 9 centimeters. And so it was like, okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. It was getting dark. I started smelling food. It turns out my sister was downstairs cooking oxtail. Y'all, it was so much going on. My sister was cooking oxtail. My mom was downstairs. Adam's mom had showed up. I don't know when she got there, but she was downstairs. I think they were downstairs watching Encanto with Yara. I swear to God, I could hear the music from Encanto because we watched that movie like a gazillion times, so I've memorized it. They were watching that and it was getting closer and closer to Yara's bedtime, which is 7 o'clock. Raya was born at 7:11, so I'll get to that in a second. It's probably like 6 o'clock, maybe a little after, maybe 6:30, and I felt myself getting closer and closer. The pain was at like a 9 or a 10. I was ready to be done with it. I really felt like I couldn't do it anymore. Someone asked me recently like to describe what a contraction feels like, and I'm gonna try to explain it as best as I can. Contraction when you're about to start pushing out the baby is not the same as a contraction when you're in earlier labor. Like earlier labor, it starts feeling like, it goes from feeling like a period cramp, then it goes to like someone tight, like squeezing your stomach while you're having a period cramp. And then when you're like at 9 centimeters, it feels like, I don't want to like scare anyone who's about to give birth. So if you're about to give birth, don't watch this part. But I want to be honest about what it feels like because it's really not. It really hurts. Y'all, I don't even know how to describe it. What does it feel like? It feels like someone is literally like giving you an Indian burn in your stomach, but like twisting your insides. It's almost like a burning sensation. Just one of those things you have to experience to really truly understand. But let me just say, it was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Like, I think even more than when I was in labor with Yara, it was just really, really, really hard. I'm like, okay, I gotta start pushing. I don't know if I'm ready to push, but I'm about to start pushing because I need to be done with this. So I basically just start pushing. Like I just started trying to push. And I think the midwife could tell when I wasn't really ready and when I was. And so she kind of wasn't paying it much mind because clearly I just was trying to like speed things up. Yeah, I started getting a little loud. Every time I started getting loud or like, I don't want to say screaming because I wasn't screaming, but I just was kind of like or like making those types of noises. They would tell me to like, you know, focus and put that same energy into breathing or put that same energy into pushing later on when I was actually supposed to push. So it gets to the point where it's time for me to push, and it just so happens that it's literally time for Yara to go to bed. And me and Adam had this discussion because I was like, what if I go into labor when it's Yara's bedtime? I was like, I don't think that'll happen because in my mind, everyone just goes into labor in the middle of the night. And I just was assuming that that's the same thing that would happen. When you have your second baby, you're kind of just basically going off your first experience. So I was just so sure that I was gonna go into labor in the middle of the night and Yara was gonna be asleep and then she'd wake up and have a sibling, which is kind of what happened. But I ended up literally pushing the baby out at her bedtime. So it was like 7 o'clock. Adam had been downstairs feeding Yara dinner while I was up here with, you know, the midwives and stuff. Me and Adam had we decided that if I went into labor when Yara was being put to sleep, I told Adam, I was like, I want you to be the one to put her to bed because you've been the one putting her to bed for like the past, you know, like month or so. I haven't even been doing it, y'all, because like I said, I was so pregnant and in so much pain every day, I couldn't even do that. So she was already used to Adam doing it. I didn't want like my mom or my sister to be the one to put her to bed because she definitely would have cried. I didn't want her to, you know, think anything was up. So we had decided that Adam was gonna do it. Literally, Adam was like taking Yara to her room, which is down the hall from our room. And I was about to start pushing. And I was like, someone go get Adam. I think I told the midwife or someone, I was like, someone needs to go get Adam because I feel like I have to push right now. I'm like leaning over the pool. The windows were open. I was hot. And Adam was in Yara's room putting her to sleep. And so the midwife like runs down the hall, opens the door. And then as soon as she opens the door, I'm like, wait, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Because I remembered, okay, Adam is putting Yara to sleep. So I was like, no, don't get Adam. Don't get Adam. He's putting Yara to sleep. Like I want her to still I want her to still go to bed. Mind you, y'all, I'm literally like about to push out a baby and I'm worried about Yara's bedtime. This is how anxiety works because at that point I should not have been worried about Yara's bedtime. And honestly, I should have just been focusing on pushing out the baby. But no, I was like, I want Yara to go to bed, let him finish. She ended up like closing the door. He finished putting Yara to bed. It was a success. She went to sleep. If you guys can't tell, we take Yara's bedtime and schedule very seriously because I just feel like it's good to keep her life consistent. She's so little. She's only 1.5. I really didn't want like her to be up all night just because I'm giving birth at this time of day. You know what I mean? It was not a point in uprooting her little schedule for me and the fact that I went into labor. I was very happy that he was able to put her to bed successfully, and you know, it seemed like she had a pretty good day despite the fact that I was literally in labor all day. Finishes putting her to bed and literally runs in here, and I think he like got in the pool, just jumped right in. Adam was awesome, obviously. Like he was really like multitasking like super well that day. Like the fact that he was taking care of Yara and then also taking care of me and helping out in so many different ways was really impressive, to be honest. And so he like jumped in the pool, and y'all, I was pushing like legit. Right after he put her down, I literally started pushing. I think I was pushing for maybe like 10 minutes. It was crazy. Pushing this time, last time when I gave birth, it didn't even hurt. Like honestly, pushing was a relief for me. It felt relieving to have something to do. I felt pressure, but there was no pain when the actual baby was coming out. No, this time I was in pain. I was in a lot of pain. Felt the ring of fire. I had never felt that before. Like as the baby's head was crowning, you guys, her head was coming out, I felt just like fire. And the midwife even said it. She was like, that burns. Like I had my sister videoing again. She videoed last time because I really wanted to watch it afterwards and see. I'm just that type of person. I like watching birth videos, okay? Fun fact, I actually used to want to be a midwife when I was like really young. I don't want to be one now, but I definitely had like a super huge interest in like childbirth, and like I really was like considering going into that like field. I've always been really interested in like just seeing birth actually happen, and I really wanted to like make sure I had a video of mine that I could watch. And so my sister had a video, she was videoing, and in the video the midwife is like, yep, that burns. And as she said that, I just felt like this huge fiery burning sensation down there. It was so painful. I told them, you know, like I don't want to tear. I was very serious about not tearing last time. I was very serious about not tearing this time. I was like, please don't let me tear. And so as her head was crowning, they told me to slow down. Don't push her out too fast or you'll tear. And y'all, it was really hard to listen. Okay, I was really having a hard time with following directions because it hurt so bad. I was like in my head, I'm never doing this again, like ever. I'm never doing this again. I was just like over it. Like when I was pushing Yara out, I was way more calm. It was not that bad. This time I was just like, ah, like I was like, get her out. So finally she emerged. She was born at 7'11", which is so funny because that's how much Yara weighed at birth. She's so cute. She was born at 7'11", you guys. She was 9 pounds 1 ounce. Okay, I had a big baby. I pushed out a 9-pound baby, and I think that's part of the reason why it hurt so bad, because she was so much bigger than Yara was. Yara was 7 pounds 11 ounces. This baby was 9 pounds. I think that pound or so really made a difference. Like it was pain. It was really hard to push her out, and it was just the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like I've never experienced that level of just like, I don't know. It was very intense. She came out, and Adam, I think the midwife handed her to Adam, and then he handed her to me, and we kind of just sat down. This part was similar like as to last time. We kind of just sat down in the pool. We got to look at her. Man, that moment is just so magical. When you see your baby for the first time, like there's nothing like seeing your baby, seeing your kid, like that's your baby for the first time. That part is always just so amazing. My mom was crying. of course. We were all just looking at her like she was really cute. She's a really cute baby. I'm not trying to sound like, I know everyone probably thinks their baby's cute, but y'all, she was really cute. She was like already a little bit chubby because she was 9 pounds, so she had a little weight on her, and she just has like the cutest little face. I can't believe she's been asleep through me running my mouth this entire time. But obviously, like, all the normal stuff happened. We weighed her. My sister, I told you guys, she had been cooking oxtail. She brought me a bowl of oxtail and rice. Oh my God, I was starving. It was like immediately after the baby was born, my appetite came back. I felt like I could eat like 10 hamburgers. I had like cleaned up myself. I had gotten like in my robe and got comfortable in my bed, and I was holding the baby. That's when I really wanted some food. And so I think I ate like 3 bowls of oxtail, and we were just sitting in our room. It was dark. I was just holding the baby, and Adam was like feeding me oxtail and rice. They were like weighing the baby, and it was honestly just like the best. Like, home birth is the best decision that I've ever made, that we've ever made. I feel like it was just like such a perfect way to end the night. I didn't sleep that night. I definitely did not sleep. Even though I think I was exhausted, I think I also was running off adrenaline, and I was, you know, when you first meet your baby, you're like, oh my God, are they gonna stop breathing? Like, so I definitely didn't sleep that night. I kind of just stayed up and just ate snacks and like watched the baby sleep. Tried to adjust to nursing again because I haven't nursed a baby in 6 months. If you guys don't know, I weaned Yara when she turned 1, so I haven't nursed a baby in a long time. It was almost like starting from scratch, and yeah, I kind of just, it was just like, after she was out, it was just so nice, so peaceful. Adam's mom was there. She ended up staying the night. She literally fell asleep in this chair in our room, and she just was like asleep, and Adam was next to me asleep, and my mom was downstairs on the couch asleep. My sister was up. My sister does not go to bed, but she had like brought me snacks, and like, it was just such a nice way to end the night. You know what I mean? I was really, really like happy, and I feel like this time around, because I've done it before and because me and Adam have done it before, it just was a lot easier transitioning from 1 baby to 2 in that aspect. Like, the newborn stage didn't feel as intimidating. I had such a positive birth. Aside from the pain, I really enjoyed my birth, and I'm really grateful that everyone who was there was there. Thank you to my doula and my midwives. If you're watching this, I love you guys so much. You guys are awesome. To my husband is amazing, y'all. Not only was he like, you know, doing the housework, taking care of Yara, and like making sure like everything was, you know, taken care of, because before I gave birth, I was already like not able to do that much, but even in these past couple weeks, he's been just pretty much like housewife dad. Like, he's been doing everything, so I really haven't had to like worry about food, housework, any of that. I've really been able to just kind of relax and heal and spend time with the baby and bond. If anyone out there is watching this and you're nervous about giving birth, don't be nervous, because number 1, it's gonna hurt no matter what. I'm gonna just tell you that. I'm not about to sit here and sugarcoat it. We all know giving birth hurts, except for like that percentage of people who literally like enjoy it. I've seen people who literally don't have any pain, but we all know it's gonna hurt. That's a given. But we're made for this. You're made for that. You were made to give birth. Your body knows what to do. Even if you pass out, you guys, even if you pass out when you're about to push, your body will literally push your baby out, because that's what we are designed to do. So if you're nervous about giving birth, or you're nervous about feeling pain, I really would advise you to just remember that it's temporary. Everything is temporary. You can do it. You are a vessel for your baby. You're not going to be in pain forever. You're going to have a whole baby. You're going to have a whole nother life, a whole nother child to like watch grow up. And like, honestly, keeping Yara in the back of my mind helped me too, because she was just like a reminder that I can do it, and that it was all going to be worth it in the end, and it definitely was. So yeah, that's my birth story. If you guys have questions, just leave them down below and I'll just answer them in the comments. A lot of people have been asking if she looks like Yara. That's been a debate in our household. Like, I really think she does in a lot of ways, but she also looks so different. I think she looks like me a lot, but she has Adam's eyes, but she also looks like Yara a little bit. We'll have to see. She's kind of still getting her face. She's still growing into her features. So we'll see who she ends up looking like. But I honestly feel like she looks a lot like her sister. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did. And make sure you subscribe down below. And I will see you guys in my next one.